Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Exceptional products, expert design, experienced professionals. An American Buildings Company authorized builder can turn your dream of a new building into a reality. Because ABC Builders are local contractors, they know your market and can handle your project from beginning to end. So if you're ready today, your ABC Builder is building tomorrow.
Call Munter Enterprises, 518-584-6174.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, last week we had a big event here in Saratoga. It was the annual meeting for the Saratoga Convention Tourism Bureau. A lot of people attended there. A lot of topics were discussed. A lot of successes were referenced to, and a lot of challenges were brought up also. So we thought it'd be a good idea to bring my friend Todd Garofano back in, who is the president of the Saratoga Tourism Convention Bureau.
SCTB.
Yeah,
shorten it up.
Thank you
There
very
go.
much, Todd.
Yeah.
So welcome back.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you know what? Congratulations is in order. A lot of
Thank
good
you.
news came out of that meeting.
It was great. Yeah, it was our 32nd annual, so we've been around for a while. We had, we talked about the successes from the previous year. We outlined some challenges going forward. We elected some new board members, said goodbye to some others, and recognized our hometown ambassadors as well as our volunteers of the year.
You know what? Not everybody could be there, of course, although you did have a heck of a lot of people. I think over 160, you were saying to me, right?
Which is a great number for us.
Yeah,
you know, our membership, we have, and that's one of our highlights that we touched on. We ended the year with over 500 members, which is very important for us and a very good sign of our growth.
Now, of course, it goes without saying that Saratoga is on the move and whatever. Part of that is managing growth, right? And part of it is finding opportunities when the field gets more competitive of how to get more conventions here, how to get more people in town, on the off months, how to create events to stimulate our local economy, right? So I want to go back on a couple of those things.
Sure.
The way the year breaks out, we always know about the summer season.
Right.
How about the other quarters of the year?
So we have a very, very distinct season. So March, April, May is our spring convention season. June, July, August is our summer tourism season, as you mentioned. September, October, November is our fall convention season. And then December, January, February is when I say we need to get creative and create our own opportunities. We just had some of those that we talked about the last time, Chowder Fest, our pond hockey tournament, Beer Week. You know, those events we create to really stimulate that activity in our shoulder period.
You know what I don't think everybody knows is that the Convention Tourism Bureau creates these events. Chowder Fest was created by this group. And, you know, the one that we talked about the last time that also turned out to be very successful, even the first run, was this very creative way of getting wedding planners involved here. Tie the Knot was the name of that thing, right?
Yeah, so Tie the Knot in Toga, and that's what we call a FAM tour, a familiarization tour.
Yes.
So it's where we bring planners into the area from outside of the area so they can really understand and experience for themselves all that Saratoga has to offer. So that was in January. We had over 80, almost 90 people attend. 35 of those or so were wedding planners from the New York City, Westchester, Connecticut area. From that event already, we've booked at least 7 wedding receptions. Plus all the other activities that go along with that, photographers, florists, entertainers, and so forth. So very pleased with that event, and it really did a good job. And we had that in January really because it's a good time for them to come. It's a little quieter, not as many weddings, but it's also during their buying season. So right after Christmas and New Year's, you know, very popular.
People get engaged and whatever. Sure,
absolutely. So it really worked out well. We're going to do that again next year. We're going to tweak the date a little bit, I believe, and maybe move it into March. Just to try to avoid some weather possibilities.
Issues, right, if you can.
Yep.
You know, in tourism, you always hear the phrase heads in beds.
Yep.
How do we do in terms of occupancy rates in hotels and income coming in from that?
We did great. So, you know, really the Convention and Tourism Bureau, we focus on groups. So it's meetings, events, conferences, conventions, weddings, sports tournaments, and so on. Last year, our group worked with over 620 meetings and events, which is up from about 420 the previous year. which equated to over 90,000 room nights in the market
Holy
and about
mackerel.
57 million in economic impact. So all in all, I think we're up around 11.8, 12% over the previous year. So we had a great year.
Well, you can tell you're conscientious. He's just said 11.8%.
Yeah, we look-
Well, Todd, congratulations.
We
Why
look
not just
at it very
12%?
we look at it very carefully.
Yeah, that you do. I need to ask you one question. I'm seeing a lot of national advertising, as we all are, about Airbnb.
Yeah.
Not the favorite child when you think about the impact on the community in certain ways. How do you look at this?
Yeah, so it's certainly on our radar. It's been on our radar for a couple of years now, and we're not talking about the summer seasonal rentals. This is more about the 2 and 3 night stays during the other parts of the year. So you can go on Airbnb, and I pick on them. There's others as well, but they're the most popular, I think. And you can do a search for a 2-night stay on any given weekend in Saratoga, and you'll find 200, 220, sometimes 250 rental opportunities, which is taking business away from our B&Bs and our hotels. So, and what we're concerned about is, our hotels and B&Bs have to go through a permitting process, right? They have to show
insurance,
yes, be inspected,
sales tax,
bed tax, et cetera, and on Airbnb you don't. So we're advocating just to level the playing field, so on a local, countywide, and statewide level, we're working on this issue with our elected officials, and we'll get there. But we just want to make sure that the field is level, everybody's playing by the rules, and we're not disrupting neighborhoods. The example you give, somebody buys a home or rents an apartment, Beekman Street, or with a certain expectation that they're going to have this lifestyle. But when neighbors start renting on Airbnb, you're bringing in folks from outside the area, and you're disrupting that environment.
Yes, right.
So we need to be mindful of that. We're also taking away from workforce housing.
Yeah.
So if somebody has, say a 5-unit apartment, and they can earn more money by renting on Airbnb than they can by renting to one of our hotel employees or a server, it takes away from that, and it makes it more difficult for those folks to find affordable housing.
You know what? I think the thing there is not to deprive anybody of the opportunity to have an income or make an income, but a level playing field, I think, is the best way to say that. Because, it doesn't go unnoticed that things like insurance and things like safety, is the house properly inspected, what kind of sales tax, which flows back into the community. All of these things are very important.
Sure.
Well, according to that calendar you mentioned, we're moving into, although today you wouldn't know it,
right.
We're moving into the spring convention.
We are.
Season, right?
Yep. So we've hit the ground running. We've had several large conferences already. We have several sports tournaments coming up. We had a group last week during the blizzard, the New York State Athletic Administrators Conference. It was with about 300 and 350 people from across the state. We worked hard to let them know what was going on, in the city, what restaurants were still open, and things like that. But yeah, we roll right into it. We have several large sports tournaments coming up. Gym Rat will be coming up soon in April with about 1,000 or so youth basketball players from around the state and around the Northeast. So.
Oh, great, Todd. Well, I always love to have you come in.
Appreciate
catch
it.
up on
Love
things
being
that are
here.
going. But again, congratulations. You had a real growth year last year, and a very successful annual meeting. So that's
Thank you.
important. Very important to community. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you.
Okay. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.
Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Exceptional products, expert design, experienced professionals. An American Buildings Company authorized builder can turn your dream of a new building into a reality. Because ABC Builders are local contractors, they know your market and can handle your project from beginning to end. So if you're ready today, your ABC Builder is building tomorrow.
Call Munter Enterprises, 518-584-6174.